Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I'm meeting my colleagues in Bosnia Sarajevo, Islamic Relief office in Sarajevo, and we have got an open discussion about some of their concern and questions. Inshallah, can you start?
So first of all, thank you very much, Dr. Hamid, for coming to Bosnia and to care about this country from the beginning. We would like to use this opportunity to ask you to take from you your advice and your opinion about generally about our work in Islamic Relief Bosnia. So few minutes ago we discussed about one ayah from Quran. Some people said that is last. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي. Where we are as organization Islamic Relief now.
Where you are? All right, thank you. This is the beginning of the discussion today. After 40 years, you have to feel that you are mature enough. Maturity in your thinking makes you to empower your children at home. You have 5, 6 children, 2, 3 children. You don't just keep controlling them. If you keep controlling them, they will never become leaders. And when they marry their wives, they will always come back to you. At this age, Islamic Relief has to empower the local community. Not only Islamic Relief, every organization. They should not be control freak. Only few people are from the headquarters, are in control of everything. This is wrong. One of the main objectives or outcome of the World Humanitarian Summit in Istanbul 2016 was localization, which unfortunately up till now UN did not implement it. They were saying that they give about 25% to 30% of the fund to the local community. Didn't happen. At this age, Brother Amir and Sister Naira and Brother Farid, is the time of empowerment of local community to sustain the development of the organization and stabilize the presence of the organization in all the different countries. Without local communities, your organization is not sustainable anymore. So as the hadith was saying, why Hazrat Umar was crying? Because he said to the Prophet ﷺ, this ayah means that before the ayah, we were actually looking for the completion of the deen. Every time we're learning, But now, the deen is complete. Once a building is complete, the decrease of such process will start. حينما يكتمل البناء يبدأ النقصان. When the building becomes complete, it will decrease. That's why at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they were actually learning and knowing about the Iman and the Islam every day. But when this ayah comes, it has the ceiling of the meaning. That's why the decrease in it will happen, unfortunately. And it happened. This was the meaning of the ayah which you started with. So any organization, if it does not know how to sustain its stability and development, it will shrink. It will decrease. It will become stagnant. Because you stop at this floor. You can't go anymore. One day, the 6th or 5th Caliph, which his name is Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, rahmatullah alayh, may Allah bless his soul, was saying, إن لي نفسا تواخى. I have an ambitious soul. whenever his ambitious soul needs to have something, it will try to get it. Okay? He loved his cousin, which is more beautiful than you. Her name was Fatima. You know, her father was Khalifa, his brother was Khalifa, and his grandfather was Khalifa. اللي هو بنت عبد ها مش كده؟ And her two brothers were Khalifa, not only one brother. Suleiman and what's his name, the other one? Marwan ibn Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. And their great grandparent was Khalifa. He married her. Then when he married her, he wanted to become the Amir of Mecca. He became the Amir of Mecca and Medina. Then after that, he wanted to become the Khalifa. And he became the Khalifa. After becoming the Khalifa, he said, Khalas. Now I only want heaven. Khalas, nothing else in this life. So you have to have this kind of ambitious soul and spirit to keep you going. If you stop your soul of being ambitious, you will create a stagnant organization. Okay? Yes, please. You can ask in Arabic and English or Bosnian or whatever you call it.
And Dr. Hani, how to have this balance between being humble and being hungry, as you said, because this is being hungry, being ambitious, and I agree. But also we have to be humble. So how to maintain this balance between being humble and being hungry?
Being hungry means that you always see the needs of the people and make their needs your need. Okay? Don't make their needs that you are a visitor and trying to buy them some food and give it to them and leave them alone. No. Being humble and being hungry, the two H. Okay? When you mix with the people, you listen to them, you sit with them, you understand what they are saying. This makes you humble. That's why Islamic Relief as an organization developed a new terminology called rights holders or right holders. This was more than 20 years ago. We don't call those people beneficiary anymore. We don't call, like nowadays, they call them clients. What? Client of what? We call them right holders because they are the owner of the organization. We have this fund coming to Islamic Relief in Bosnia or in Somalia or in Afghanistan or Pakistan because of those people, not because of Hanil Banna or Wasim or others. So the real owner of the organization are not the managers or even the donors. It is the people whom we claim that we serve them. You cannot become humble unless you mix, unless you listen, unless you study and discuss the problem in depth, unless you respect the people, unless you connect with them, unless you let them feel that you are one of them. If they don't feel that you are one of them, you just will sit down with you to get the money from you and forget about you. Even they will forget about your names. Even when they meet with you, they will just give you the false smile. Because they want the money. And you could be fooled by the false smile. You cannot be humble by what nowadays people are doing, say, working from home. Any social organization or humanitarian organization are doing no justice to itself, to the community they claim that they are serving, to the right holders who pay their salary by saying, hey guys, I'm working from home, or I'm not coming to the office. You can have an excuse once or twice from not coming to the office for some reasons. But you have to be with the people who are all the time in the street, either displaced, refugees, or sick, or hungry, or naked, or in a very difficult situation. This is being humble. The other one is being hungry. You ask Allah to give you more responsibility. Okay? And when you take the problem with you, you keep it with you all the time. You met a widow, or you met an orphan, or you met a young man who wants to have a job. You have to think about, in a very creative way, how to find a solution for the problem. And the more you look at the dimension of the problems affecting any society, the more your appetite will be open, and the desire will be open to take more and more and more and more. And the more you listen to the people, they give you the different kind of solution. Here, you'll be able to put the solution on the map of the project proposal or project concept, to change it from just an idea or a need into project and concept and program. And once it becomes successful, you have more and more and more. But if you want to be humble and hungry at the same time, you have to focus not on yourself, not on me, not on Amir, not on Farid, but on the rights holders. You give you the two HH. Make you hungry, humble, and human. If you add the word human into the three dimensions, the three H's, a human was always hungry and humble. If we are not human, خلاص, forget about it. Okay. Yes, any other questions for your strategic direction? هسه عايز اتكلم؟
Yes, please.
تفضل.
From respected Dr. Hani, with your so rich experience in this field, in the humanitarian field, what do you expect for the humanitarian work in the future? Especially what had happened in a place like Palestine, especially Gaza, when they are preventing the humanitarian workers and humanitarian organization to work, even they are killing them and preventing them from doing any purpose or to achieve any purpose with what they want to achieve.
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you, Brother Farid. I think the question, if you can divide it into two parts, which is the first part?
First, this is the future,
Oh,
globally or in a wide vision, future for the humanitarian work in the world.
okay. Future means planning. Okay? Future means learning. Future means accountability. You know, meal. What do you mean by meal?
Monitoring, evaluation.
No. What's MEAL? What M means?
Monitoring,
Evaluation,
evaluation, learning, accountability, and learning.
accountability, and learning. So if you don't do this four, you cannot talk about the future. If you cannot look back at your performance, not only the performance and the impact, you have to measure the impact, which you are not measuring it. Now you are in Bihaj, and you have a donor who give you $1 million, okay, to do whatever microfinance project. You have to measure the impact every 6 months or every year. And you have to tell the donor that I will take maybe 5 or 10% of the budget to measure the impact. Otherwise, I spend the money in 6 months or a year or 2 years without understanding how much impact I had on the local community.
without following results.
Yeah, you have to measure it. قياس الأثر. ما في شيء يتعمل من غير ما يحط له معايير لقياس الأثر. Nothing should be done without putting the measures or the measuring the impact of such a project on this community. If you don't do that, there's no future for your work. Because you can be repeating everything the same it was. It's finished. Want water, so what? Want food, what's after water and food, and what's after the school? There's community, there's culture, there's values, there's history, there's advocacy, a lot of things. There's research. Tell the donor that I need to spend 5 to 7% or 8% on research to get you the right information. Some donors said 0%.
This is a very
Tell
big
them,
challenge.
tell them get lost. I'm just telling you. There's nothing called get. It is haram, in my own view, from the social point of view, of getting money which is called 0%. Well, I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to buy now. I tell you something. You have the Qurbani project. Okay? You give me £200 or $200 for the Qurbani. All right? Sister Nera, the sheep, the money will jump to the account, and the sheep will jump from the market to the butcher to slaughter it. Then the sheep will deskin itself. Then the sheep will cut itself and will travel to be going to every door. The sheep will go in actually in a sack as legs or ears or head or arms, whatever it is. This means no admin cost. Will the sheep do that?
No.
Will the cow do that?
No.
Who is going to do it? The bank will take a commission. The butcher will take a commission. But not commission, I mean cost. The office worker will be researching all this. Then the transportation, then getting the data of the people. Who's going to bring all this? Here is the. If you bend your back to those people, you will never be able to develop your own organization. This 0% is absolutely nonsense.
This is a big lie.
Sorry?
This is a big lie.
A big lie. I know that. That's why I'm advocating against it long time ago. If you really want to have a 0%, I tell you something. Tell me where will you get the fund for the admin cost? You might have waqf, you might have a donation. If you have another donor give you the money, you have to claim it as in-kind donation. If there's a donor sponsoring your salary, or sponsoring the rent, or the electricity, or the taxes, you have to claim it. You cannot just go and saying 0%. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Holy Quran about the 8 categories of zakat, al-amina alayha. Even the people are lying about zakat. Allah said, admin cost for the people. How are you going to collect the data of the poor people to give them money? They will jump on you and coming, or the information will come to you. You will actually put a criteria: whom to give, why to give, where to give. Okay. Number 2, you give your officer actually go to this village and make a study. It might take him 5 days or 7 days or a week or 2 weeks to bring the data. Then the data will come back to you. Then the data will be analyzed, and so on, and then you classify the data. And then you spend the money. Then you monitor the money. This was nothing. You mean that Allah did not know that there is something called عاملين عليها, and you know better than Allah?
الحاضرين عليها means those people who are collecting and spending and dividing.
If you read Surah Tawbah, it's 8 categories of zakat. So this is the first question. Second part.
Second, about the situation, the current
Ah,
situation
in any conflict situation, we in Islamic Relief did not only start for Gaza. Okay? We were there during Bosnia, 1992, 32 years ago. We were there for Chechnya. We were there for Somalia. We were there even for Syria and Yemen. We were there for other conflicts, armed conflicts. During the armed conflicts, any humanitarian worker has to observe his behavior or her behavior. And this is what we learned while Chechnya War was the first Chechnya War, 1995, 1997, at the time of Yeltsin, before Putin came to create the second Bosnia Chechnya War in 1999. And our slogan was never take an emotional decision, even if it's small, which might affect the organization. Not on the agenda. Not on the agenda. You have to be cold-blooded. You are in the middle of conflict between the Serb and the Bosnian, between the Russian and Chechen, okay, and the other places, between the armed groups in Somalia and the other countries. Never take a side. We went to Sudan, South Sudan, in 2003. But before going there, Sister Naira and Brother Amir and Brother Farid, we have to consult, because there was a cross border between the north and south. We have to go to the government in Khartoum and the government in Kenya. The government of Khartoum was the government of Sudan, North Sudan. The government of Kenya was the rebels, or the armed groups, or whatever, or the People's Army. To tell the government in Khartoum that we are going to work in South Sudan, and tell the government in Naivasha, which was in Kenya, that we need to work in your area. So both of them have to know who are you, what to do, and why you are coming here. Because they shoot to kill. So the North should protect you because they have an office in Khartoum, and the South has to protect you because they have an office in Rombek at that time. In the case of Gaza, it's more difficult. More difficult, but you use the same policy. No emotion, no hot-headed, no uncalculated risk. You have to be very observant to who is the partners in the war, the conflict, the people in conflict. You find that on one side, most of the big organizations and governments. That means that you have been heavily scrutinized and watched and monitored. And sometimes you cannot send the aid, that's right? Not sometimes, most of the time. Okay, this is not your failure. If I am at this situation, which I mentioned it a few months ago, I said, don't stop raising funds. But tell your donor that we cannot spend all the fund now. We'll spend as much as we can, but be transparent by telling them the rest will be spent when the situation improves. But don't stop raising funds. You know why? Because once the camera is away, disappeared, nobody will give you money. Nobody will give you money. So use the opportunity that the news is covering everything and the disaster is there, and you keep raising fund. But tell the donor all the time, I raise the million, I only can spend 100,000 or 200,000, and they'll leave the rest for another stage.
In that way, you are going to keep your credibility with the.
You have to be transparent,
Absolutely.
absolutely transparent with this. With this, that you raise, but you tell them I can't spend.
Yeah.
If you told me why you raise, I said because the media is allowing me to raise for the future. But don't lie by saying that I spent 5-10 million. Why? So why you spend all the money? You got a sister here. So regarding these cases, you take case by case. Sometimes in the difficult cases, you make partnership with another organization who work on the ground, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims. Okay, that's another solution. But government organization, the big ones, I believe that you have to be away from them because they have a lot of fund and you need to tap into their fund. Okay?
Dr. Hani, when we are speaking about localization,
You want about what?
when we are speaking about localization regarding the Islamic Relief offices in the world, I would like to ask you for your opinion regarding the standardization to work. You know, sometimes we have big company and people have like chain of offices in different countries. Some of them, you know, they have the same approach regarding the work, regarding, what do you think about that? Is it standardization? We can say that is against localization, or that we can accept or adjust some local standards according to our needs.
Yeah. With standardization, it's very difficult. I was just writing it when you came to the room. I was just doing it. With the standardization, unfortunately, the people who put the standardization level on the table are very mature Western organizations and the government organization. Okay? And it makes things very difficult for Islamic Relief and the others to keep filling these forms. Needless to say, you know what? If I want to support an initiative by volunteers, I can't. For two reasons. Either because too many paperwork and they cannot do it, and because I wouldn't risk to work with them. That's number one, with initiatives. The second level is the local organization. How many local organizations you have in Bosnia? Huh?
I think regarding NGO more than 1,000.
Local ones.
Yeah.
Here, the difficulty is, will they be able to fill the forms? All of them? Even if you fill the form for them, would they be able to bring the report? That's why sometimes standardization, which is used for the business, sometimes does not work in the social and humanitarian work. Because the social and humanitarian work represent the local community with its values, its culture, its ability, and its experience. And most of them cannot rise to the international level. And most of this standardization is made by people living in London, in Rome, in Paris, in New York, in Berlin, which is good for them, but not good for the local organization. And here, if you want to be logic, you know what to do? You have to make a coalition and go back to those organizations, tell them this does not work. Let us modify for the level of initiatives. That's one level. Level of local organization on a village level, municipality level, on a town level, on a city level, on a national level, on international level. So each standardization will meet the quality of the individuals who are receiving the fund. It's not, as they say in English, Sister Naira, not one size can fit it all. Someone will be short for them. Somebody else will be too long. When they walk with it, they'll fall and break their neck. If I give you a pair of shoes, what's the your
38.
oh, big foot. You look small for the
Thank
13.
you. I had so many compliments today.
Anyway, if I give you 46, what will you do with it?
It will be too big.
And what will happen to you?
I will fall off.
That's it. See, that's why this policy of one size fits all, it doesn't work. And this word,
Equity.
yeah. And this one sister said equity. I don't know what equity means, but I will trust you.
You can trust me.
I trust you, خلاص.
Suitable.
It is,
Like it's more equal than equality.
yeah, that's right. It accommodates the people who have less and more and in between. It's not just one level, there are many levels. So it goes to the very the very beginning. Like I said, even I wrote not a paper, a piece of يعني, and sent it to a government in somewhere. I said you have to build the local organization in your country from the initiative level. The initiative, the volunteers first, the initiative, the local, and you have to monitor each one according to their capacity and their income and their experience. So, brother, this is your question.
Thank you.
You cannot just treat everybody as, because you are not, you know what? You are not Burger King, you are not Kentucky, you are not McDonald's, you are not Pepsi Cola, you are not Coca Cola, you are not all this. These are business oriented. خلاص. If you need my logo, you become a franchise, a part of a franchise, you have to stand up to this standard. But in organization wise, it doesn't work.
Thank you very much for this.
How do you, Dr. Hani, how do you see like the vision? I guess that I'm sure that you had some kind of vision for Islamic Relief worldwide when it was established. But how do you see Islamic Relief worldwide now, and what it should become in your eyes, like in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, like in which direction Islamic Relief worldwide should prosper and continue its work?
All right, thank you. You want to?
To take 5 minutes to finish my prayer.
Okay. Okay, Sister Naira, regarding your question, which is very important and very valid, not only for Islamic Relief or for only, it's for all the organizations. As if I can look at something, Sister Naira, now you have a baby at the age of 6 months or a year. At the age of 3, you take him to a kindergarten from 3 to 5. Then from the kindergarten to the primary school, then from primary school to secondary school, from secondary school to the university, and so on, so on, so on. In any organization, you have to look at it this way. Actually, the more you are in the field, on the field, you have to learn a lot to keep building the structure to let you rise. Sometimes with an organization, you might build a small shed. If you build a shed, it will be a shed forever. But if you want to build a multi-story building, you know what to do and to use the land, choose the land, and put the foundation, even if you don't build the whole building on the first year. But at least you have the land, which is the vision. You have the foundation, which is the structure with the people. Then every year you keep rising. Because instead of having an organization of 1 or 2 floors, you want to build this 100 floors, and instead of having one organization, you have a holding group of different organizations, or mother organization and subsidiary groups. You got it? It's up to the vision that you put it. If you don't put the vision, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere. So when we started, the only vision is to help. No strategy, no consultant, no professional people like you, no big terminology, meal and wheel and deal and all this kind of every consultant every year they put new terminology to make more money from you. Surf. What's the other one? Not surf. Oxfam made it. Wheel and there's another one. I can't remember the rest of the terminology. Keep putting a lot of terminology. With each terminology, you have some consultant to come and explain to you. You pay money for the consultant. It costs you money. Then after that, we need to create a department or a desk for psychosocial support, or for meal, or for deal, or for wheel, or for whatever it is. With every new idea and every new direction, you keep putting somebody there. So you have to relate your organization to the development of the community, the development of the society and the outside atmosphere. Sometimes it becomes risky, sometimes okay, because it costs money. If you want to get fund from government organization, from UN organization, from European Union, you have to fulfill the criteria. And the criteria will cost you money. You have to increase the salaries. And this is one of the big problems in Syria over the last 10, 15 years, 10, 12 years. The salaries of the employees of the humanitarian organization in Gaziantep is far more bigger than the salaries of the people inside Syria. Even the car driver salary is far more bigger than the judge inside Idlib and other places. Here, the community started to lose confidence in you. That's why sometimes when you follow blindly, donors and money, the local community will look at you, oh my God, I know that the salary is £2,000-3,000 a month, and my income is about $200-300. And here they will tell you, we don't trust you anymore. But we started, as I said, with no vision. We're just relying on our belief in what we're going to do. They don't have any financial support. They don't have any moral support from certain big organizations or big names. And we managed to go collecting the pound, the penny, whatever you call it in different countries, with clear vision of need to help the people, and with commitment and sincerity from everybody was there at that time. If you take commitment and sincerity out and only depend on the project proposal, the quality, it will give you money, but will never create a spirit for yourself. Will never build a community. Because you spend the money to dig a deep well, but not to build the community. What's the second question, part of your question?
Like your vision for Islamic Relief in 5, 10, 20 years.
You have to review your vision every now and then. There's no vision that can suit every era of time. Whoever tells you that, if you look at the statement of the Prophet ﷺ from the very beginning, he was putting a very big vision that this deen will cover the whole earth. Halas. Nothing more than that. This deen, I can see the conquest of Rome, the conquest of Constantinople, the conquest of Yemen, and all. I can see it. People say, oh my God, what? What is this? At the time of battlefield of Badr, يوم الجمع ويوم الدبر. The ayah was revealed that the people.
It was Khaybar, I think.
It's Khaybar or Badr?
Khaybar.
Anyway, what? We are going to defeat those people? People can go outside of our houses and Umar was pulling his hair, but Allah said so. And the victory came. It's not you. What you know, what you need to do, is to do your duty of putting the vision and keep review the vision and the objectives. Keep reviewing it because it's not Quran, it's not Hadith, it's not holy text. It is your understanding and your view of how to help and serve and save the local community. What you have done in Pakistan might not be suitable to you to do it in Bosnia because the culture is different, the value could be different, the history is different, the human resources are different. Okay? So it's not one size can fit all. You can say that one size can fit all, it is justice, it's fairness, it's equity, it's transparency, it is all untouchable. But the way to implement the project is different. The way to choose the project is different. The way to find the solution is different. So if you talk about your organization, Islamic Relief, they have to sit down and think. Nowadays, brothers and sisters, we don't have time to think. Always war. Firefighting. No time to work. You don't give a space to your brain to find a new idea, to create a new idea, to connect with people, to help people. No, firefighting. And that's why most of us, unfortunately, are so busy responding, not thinking, not researching, not finding. That's why what you need to do is go back to your job description and review it and allow any employee to have a space of his time and their time to think, to attend meetings, to attend conferences, to attend workshops, and come back and report to you. Any meeting outside the office has to be reported to the whole staff. And this spare time for thinking has to go from the cleaner and the driver and the security man to the CEO. Because all of us have to think. Maybe the great idea might come from the sister who made the coffee this morning. Okay? Or from the cleaner. I was giving this example today to somebody. One of the best songwriters in Egypt. He was in love with a servant, a female servant. And in the jacket of her master, which was another poet, he put this small piece of paper in the jacket. So the other man looks at the piece of paper. Wow, who wrote this one? Very beautiful. Very beautiful song. The girl was very scared because he loves her and she loves him. She didn't want to tell the master. I said, I don't know. I said, no, you go and tell me who is this. He said that the one who was ironing the clothes. You know, he said her, go and get him. Somebody ironing the clothes. Yeah, his education is not like you, like him. The man came to the master of the house and told him, did you write them? He said, yes, sir. And I have got 40 or 50 like that. So from this man who was ironing the clothes in the shop came some of the best songs in the whole Egypt. Not from the people qualified from the universities or the thinker or whatever you call them. It reflects that this man has a brain. What you need to pick on his talent or her talent. And here, you go back to visit your vision, visit your attitude and your values. Do I need to change the values? Or do I have a value could be changed and reviewed and the values are actually fixed? Okay? All this has to be reviewed, but quite often we don't review it because we don't have time to think about reviewing it. And making the research studies is the cornerstone. It costs money. Making the capacity building as a cornerstone. You have to train people. Don't leave people like I was visiting some of the Arab organization in the Middle East, and the same individual is there in the office for 30 years or 20 years. Now a new manager came and he wanted to sack them. Whose mistake? It was a mistake of the people before him, who let people like myself to stay in the office with no training, no capacity building. And then the new manager, new director would like to sack them. Because who is the easiest one to be sacked? Is the low and rank officers, not the big ones. We have difficult time to sack a manager or the director because they can take you to court. But it's very easy to sack a cleaner or to sack a operative officer because they don't grumble much. So to come back to your question, we must have the time to think and review. After 40 years, you cannot do what you have been doing over the last 30 years ago. Like actually, after your son becomes 40, you can't allow him to do the things as he was doing when he was 5 or 6 or 7 years old. You can't have the same mistakes. You can't get away with it. Because now he is a man responsible. Your organization might have 5,000, 6,000 people. If something wrong happens to them, this is the future of 5,000, 6,000 families and more. And it's called responsibility. It's clear? So I cannot give you an answer of 1, 2, 3, 4 like the consultant. The consultant might come and tell you, okay,
We have to review it.
you have continuously to review it. And the revision should be from everybody. Like the 360. The KPI actually has to be done independently and not rely only on the manager. Because sometimes the manager could be a very nice man to one of his colleagues, or the daughter of his colleagues, or the son of his colleagues. So it can promote her and him, and they are useless. Or the manager can be bad and can suffocate a talented individual who all the time ask questions, so they don't get on with them. So you have to find another way of the KPI to create another department to look at both sides as well.
I have one more question.
Go on.
What would be your advice for managers, like in order to be better managers, or like what do you think that are like kind of like key things for someone to be good manager and to manage the organization good or department?
Okay. First of all, look at your job. And your job does not mean mechanical response to everything. Your job is not just reporting and tasks. This is very important. But your job is how you behave. And instead of sacking people, one of the people from the factory was nearly closing down. He said, I'm not going to sack you. I'm going to increase your salary and promote you. So you work more, harder. And they went out and they changed the loss of the factory into a success story. Because he came and motivated them. He came and led them to feel that they are human beings. He or she or you came and make your staff as your brothers and sisters. You made your staff, you led them to feel that they are confident in them. When they do mistakes, you don't pardon them in public.
It's normal.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the behavior. You see, management is reporting, evaluating, but it's behavior as well. So when you go to the office, you be friendly to everybody. So everybody will love to serve you. Everybody will love to talk to you because you talk to them. If you don't do that, get your degree from Harvard, from me, get it from Cambridge, all these kind of things. Waste of time. Because management system here is behavior, is etiquette of manners. It is relationship with the people working with you. Performance is not just tick box and you get the list. We need the tick box, yeah. But within the tick box, you have to measure how people are looking after you and want you to become a successful manager, or they want to drown you because I treat them very badly. They would love me to leave the office because I shout at them, I insult them, I ignore them, I become arrogant to them, okay? I don't listen to them, so they will hate me from their guts. Even if I give them the best salary. Credibility, integrity is far more important than the amount of money that the individual is taking from the organization. Because at the end of the day, Sister Naira, it is human feeling. I can stay an extra hour or 2 hours or 3 hours because I love to stay to finish the job before I go home. Because I like you and I want you to succeed and I want you to get the money so you can be promoted and I can be promoted as well to serve the people. But if I treat them badly, see, they will be away from me and they would love to see me failing. So coming back to knowing what to do because you are qualified and trained and equipped with all this knowledge, and treating them as human beings. If you don't treat people as human beings, they will never make you successful. Make you successful.
Thank you.
It's not a magic. Prophet said, Aisha was telling, كان خلق القرآن, his manner was like Quran. Or he was a walking Quran on earth. His manner. That's khalas. You must say that this man is gentle. This lady is caring. So when she comes to the office, everybody loves her because she cares for them, even if she does not give them any money or anything or promise anybody to do anything. It is kind of attitude you create to let everybody to be around you. And this will be the success of your management. Management is not by policies and by strategies or by accountability. Management is by behavior. I used to got one of my colleagues or my friends in Egypt. He got his PhD from Loughborough University in UK. He wrote a book. You know what he called the book? Management by Laughter. He went to crack jokes with all his staff, make them happy. When they are happy and laughing, he was having a lot of big sense of humor. He became the chairman of the large constructing company in the whole Middle East called the Arab Contractors. Got thousands of people and billions, but management by laughter, jokes and others. But he was serious. But it makes you to laughter means that you feel that you are close to the boss. Because if you make a joke, you can make a joke as well to him. Sir, can I make you a joke this morning? He was coming to the office and the receptionist is there. He said, okay, what's the joke? Because he listened to me as a chairman making a joke, and I encourage you to make me happy and love. Mm-hmm. So this behavior, management by behavior, management by manner, as well as management by policy and standard and all this sort of things. Clear?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hani. I have one more question. Because in one of our previous meeting you mentioned that Islamic Relief from the beginning, from maybe it's better to say from the first time, had people who were more dedicated to job than to salaries.
That's right.
And we are one unique organization where we have some limits regarding the supporting the cost. Sometimes it is not easy to find line between interests of staff and interests of right holders, because as you said, yes, this kind of organization like Islamic Relief has owners in our right holders. It is not purpose of this organization to have management. We have purpose to serve people. But at the same time, our right holders are not able to make decision for this organization. Sometimes it's not easy to find line to be like right way between interests of staff and interests of right holders. Some people constantly ask more salaries, as you told. We had some experience in Syria when one driver had more salary than judge. What do you think about that? How to find one fair way for this? What can be measured for us? How to compare NGO sector with others? Of course, I know that we have different responsibilities in society. It is not same to be judge or to be driver. It is so different.
All right. So I think first of all, you set an example of yourself. How sincere you are. How dedicated and committed you are as a chairman or as a CEO or as a director. So you become a role model. This is number one. You can't just ask people to do what you don't do. If you leave the office at 2 o'clock, because the time is 2 o'clock, everybody will leave at 1 o'clock or 5 past 2. But if they see you more concerned about them, so you spend more time with them, and you come the first and you leave the last. Okay? This is number one. And number two is, as I mentioned to Sister Naira, is your behavior, your manner. It is very, very, very important. Without this, it's very difficult. Now, performance nowadays is not by how much you raise fund, but how much you raise the hearts of people around you. Whether those people, Sister Naira, are the right holders or your colleagues. This is number two. Number three, while you are in office, from the day one, you have to make the policy of making young leadership. Like Sister Naira now, she might have a job for a year or 2 or 3 years. The policy is to get young sisters or brothers with her, so she is training them morally, programmatically, administratively, whether they stay in the organization or not. Once she trained them, she will give them the values and the principles of the organization. So at least the young people who work with you and Sister Naira will be always observing these values. Like the team came from Canada yesterday or 2 days ago. They were talking about becoming volunteers of Islamic Relief. This might be the first time to come to Bosnia. Why? Because they saw people who were credible, integral, nice, trying to help them. if you are there to give the extra mile to the young people as volunteers, this mile will be a whole journey. Because you don't know what will happen to such a volunteer. Our problem is we leave the volunteers and the young staff to the officers in the organization. And we don't, as chairman or the board members or CEO or directors, we don't sit down with the young volunteers. I have no time for them. That's up to you. As I told you, the Makwagi, which is the one who wrote the songs, the Iron Man, the Ironing Man. He became one of the, wrote about 50 or 60 songs, which is far more better than the people who came from the university. I'm saying that because you don't value the volunteer coming to you. You don't value the mother and the father who send you their children to become volunteers. Okay, now volunteer, please go and distribute leaflets. But the man more talented, and the girl is more talented. Okay, I do it once or twice. After that, if you don't explore my talent, I leave you. Because you don't invest in volunteers. You don't, if you invest in volunteers and know that each volunteer is an asset by himself or herself, you cannot maintain this kind of spirit and culture and others. Because young people, like I think some of the people come from Canada, age of 18, 19, 20, and still in the secondary school.
16, even 16.
And those people look up at you. If you don't behave well, definitely, they will behave badly, like myself. So it's coming back to you again. Can't just go and tell me the job description so and so. Okay, fine. What is you? You have a job description, but you are not convinced. Why don't you behave yourself when you deal with people and let people to love you? That's it. Yes.
One first question.
First or late, or what do we call it?
Have you visited this time Hazrat Ali or not yet?
Not yet. Let's see tomorrow or after tomorrow. Because I think on the 12th I'm going to Tuzla. And 13th I come from Tuzla to Sarajevo. And from Sarajevo to Gaziantep. Maybe, I'm not sure tomorrow or not. Is it tomorrow? Is a visit? Or?
Tomorrow we will visit, how you say, foundation. How do you say it?
This is the evening.
It is, as I remember, it is around 2 p.m. 2 p.m. as I remember.
There's a talk at 5 o'clock.
Maybe the Dr. Tariq changed something, but I cannot remember.
Okay, no problem. But are you talking about the grave, or talking about the cemetery? And I think they do that. They should do that. We can do that.
Has to be organized with the volunteers and those inspired from Canada?
Yeah.
Have you prepared something like that?
Yes,
This
we
is
have.
brilliant.
We have prepared, but probably Dr. Hani will go with them together.
I think Dr. Hani is going to be in celebrates on 11th, yeah?
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
Inshallah.
I offer to you, if you would like to join with us, you are more than welcome.
It's my pleasure,
Are you coming?
inshallah.
All right, no problem. Any other questions?
Jazakallah khair.
Do you have some advice for us? For us all, you choose young people, seniors, managers, us as Muslims,
Yeah.
etc. Whatever you like, some advice.
Yeah, I think the only advice I can give to myself and you is look at yourself when you have been seen by the children, the orphans, or the widows, or the poor people. That you are the one who calming them to fulfill their dreams. You can imagine that when you go to see this family, the child is saying, "Oh, Naira's coming, Farid is coming, and Amir is coming to buy me a pair of shoes, to send me to school, to buy me a football, to send me to hospital." This is how people are expecting from you. You are the dream fulfilling individual. Rise to this standard, because every individual in the community looks at you differently. But all of you see that you are the only one who can make them happy and smile. So when you go there, sometimes you have to dress a very simple, not sometimes, all the time, have to dress a simple clothes, clean ones, but not expensive ones. Shoes, but not expensive shoes. Speak the language they understand, not speak from your nose, English or French or whatever it is, because this make a barrier between you and them. Sit down where they sit and speak their languages and listen to them more than guiding them. If you start talking, they will let you talk, but they won't like you, because they want you to listen to them. Keep listening to them. All this kind of advice is the principles of the etiquette of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he was listening to people more than talking to the people. He was looking at the people more than the people were looking at him. He was very transparent with everyone. Even one of the evenings, he was standing after Salat Maghrib or Isha with his auntie, Safiya. And some companions were passing by him. Assalamu alaikum, Prophet said, "This is Safiya." He's telling them she's a woman, she's my relative. Because anybody in the dark can say he was standing with any woman. Like they said about Aisha in Surah Al-Nur, Hadith al-Ifk. When she came late, like the munafiqeen, with the hypocrite, and the other said that Aisha was with this man. Okay? So this is transparency. Don't lie to them, don't promise them. Don't keep giving any promises. We never give a promise to anybody over the last 40 years that we cannot fulfill. Not because nowadays you are there, getting excited, and we're going to build a school for you. Then you go back, could be able to raise the fund. They lose confidence in you. This is what you keep listening more than talking. This is the key. Learning more than teaching. Taking more than giving. This is what we need to do.
Thank you very much. I have learned so much from you. Thank
No.
you. Yes, it was.
It is
It's
opposite.
like that.
Thank you, Dr. Khani. Thank you for your time.
Anything else?
Yes, please. I would like if Brother Amir and Sister Naira have now sent against to organize some visit for the Arabian school, which Islamic Relief with
That's
the
not my
help-
program, it's
with
their
the help
program.
of Islamic Relief, it have been developed and became one of the elementary school in the in Sarajevo, which the Minister of Education visited, and he told, "I have a dream to be all schools in the Canton Sarajevo like that school."
Discuss.
Inshallah.
Discuss it
Do
with,
it and discuss it with Dr. Mona and Dr.
So
Tarek.
My name is coming tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
I'm sure that it would be a very useful visit
course,
for them,
of course.
for the people there at school. Unfortunately, now it's a period of vacancy for children. It's not holiday for children.
Yeah.
But the teamwork could be so happy to accept you and to welcome you and to get some advice from your side.
No problem.
Inshallah, we will do it because also I agree with you. It is one of the very important projects funded by Islamic Relief and many different organizations to Islamic Relief. And the best kind of the project is project when we invest in people, in our children. So it is one unique project where we stand our relationship. It is one unique school in this region because this school has two curriculums, one from the Bosnia and one from the Jordan. We stand culture here, so inshallah we'll speak with leaders of Islamic Relief Canada and we will find a suitable time for them and for you. Thank you very much.
جزاكم الله خير. Anything else, sister? Anything else?
You have to have rest.
Why? What told you, Amtar?
I see that
No.
you have a little bit rest.